game night with the purpose. So, and we've been having different game nights. People here. So if you are watching this live, you might, but you can get with whoever shares with you, and they'll give you the documents so we can teach you exactly what we're about to go over. We're going to kind of dive right in. We want to short and sweet. So what I first want to do is I just want to talk about finding all along. So what we want to do is we want to talk about what everybody wants, and especially in the United States, which is personal success. And take care of ourselves, whatever it is. We want to make sure that more, we have our assets that built up enough that they take lifestyle. The problem is most people don't know how to do it. Let me give you some statistics you might not know. You have not come up 2,000. Okay. 3 months. CA conduit and the sounds in the back. But think about prices went up. Can I get a gas raise? You know, it work. It doesn't really also your own business doesn't really inflate that. But think about this. See, the person that gets hurt the most in inflation are people that have jobs, hard-working, very have jobs. Business owners don't get hurt as much. Here's the reason why. Let's say, let's talk about it's charge more. But okay, the gas market went up, so the gas and shipping company is going to charge more. And then the store, Whole Foods, they're going to charge more. Who has to pay more then?
We do.
The customer, right? They end up running all the costs, even though there's the ones that actually are working to actually, to feed their family. So inflation is number one. So let's go through this. And number two is we have taxes. Okay, so did you know that a third of America, third people here, third of your money, not America, because when you have if you're overpaying in taxes, then you're actually at a point where you have a lot of times consumer debt. We're talking about the banks. We talk about the third thing we think about is the banks. The banks usually take about a third of people's income. Well, a W-2. Let's talk with so you get an understanding of what a W-2 earner is. So a W-2 is a person who works a job There's three major ways to get paid in the United States. Or which, and you have 1099, which is going to be business owner. So I'm going once you pull out this first sheet, internal revenue, IRS.gov. Okay. Okay. So, cool thing about this is I got a cheat sheet, so I can actually look at it. So, remember I said somebody actually read the first paragraph where it's the refund come from. So,
how much or make on estimate for the average refund about $40 a week.
The first read is how it says first refund people here.
First refunds to individuals total about $215 billion last year. More than 100, about 2,100.
Okay, so what does that mean? 80% of the people. Okay, now I went to college a long time ago, but I know the word really means again, fund money that they're actually giving you back. So think of something, right? You bought a shirt, cost $100, and they kept $50. And they said, look, don't worry about this change. I'm gonna give this to you in April, and I'm gonna keep all your let's talk about. When we look at that, that is what we're going to talk to you guys about compounding interest. And I'm going to talk about how in your favor working against you and how crucial that is. So I'm going to bring that up in just. But when we think about the actual debt, you have advice where you say, okay, well, I right? Because we use that as our credit report, right? So with that being said, a lot of people have used that and interest is going out of your household. Money you use
paying for your own, paying to access your own money. A couple of examples of that might be when a person goes to an ATM machine and the bank charges you, when it's not your bank, so the bank charges you $2 or $3 to access that, and then the ATM provider charges you another $2 or $3. So that's paying fees to access your own money. Same thing as when people get tax refunds. They will pay for rapid refund just to access their own money. Late fees on utility bills or any kind of bill less than 90. Sometimes it's just one of those things thinking getting over because I'm just gonna be delayed giving them their money, but they're gonna charge me a little fee, but I don't have to pay all my money right now.
Well, see, let me tell you why. And it goes back to this. Here's the thing. W-2 employees are getting taxed anywhere between 30, okay? 1099, they still get the same tax bracket, but they get the money. This you get taxed before you even see the money. Before it even gets to your household, it's gone. It's gone 100%. Business owners are actually able to get taxed on what's left. So it's usually anywhere average about 28 to about 30, actually a little less than that. But I'm just gonna be conservative with that number. Okay? But you guys want to know what investors, how much they pay? Anybody think, wow, guess how much investors pay on their income? 20? 20 is a good one.
10 to 15.
10 to 15%. This is like the rich stay rich. So if you have, we all made $100,000, right? Just think about it this way. If I made it playing golf off my investments, literally didn't lift a finger, I made 100 grand. How much would I keep out of the 100 grand? If I'm getting paid, if I'm getting taxed 15%, and I made 100 grand. Worst case, 85. All right, now remember, I'm playing golf, okay? Because I invested. And I'm doing whatever else, traveling the world, having fun. 1099, business owner. Usually business owners work harder than employees, but they actually have some type of freedom. They have tax write-offs, right? And they're making, let's just say, well, I'll just say 28, 25 to be for the sake of numbers. So we made 100,000 here. What would we be? So about 75. Let's just say 70 to 75. Now, a W-2 worker, this is the person that's got kids, wife, they're working 6 o'clock to 6 o'clock, taking stuff home, working to 8, just feeding the kids, doing something, maybe taking one to practice, going to sleep, and doing this again for 40 years, okay? And then have to get a job after that. How much are they making for 100, for working more hours than probably everybody? How much are they taking home? 65. Now, I want you to do this on your own time, but multiply these times 40. And tell me what happens to the lifestyle of these individuals. See, it's not how much money you make, it's how much money you keep. So we're going to take 100,000 is closer to like the top 1% of income. So we're going to take this down to something that's a little more realistic for everybody. I don't know what happened to my little thingy. Oh, there we go. All right, so now we're going to have some real, I don't know what to call it, fun, but we're going to learn some stuff here. All right, so if you guys see one of the forms you have, one of them says tax rates. It has tax rates on it. You guys see that? Okay, so we're going to do an example. If you're watching the live stream or you're watching the recording, you would want to pull up the document, or if you don't have it now, we'll make sure somebody gets it to you. But, because you may not be able to see it on this board. All right, let me relax with you guys a little bit. Let me see. Let me just grab it. Is it okay if I kind of relax a little bit? Because I'm getting tired of sitting up, standing up here. All right, thank you, T. All right, man, T. All right, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to explain what I feel. I got my master's degree in business, and I felt like I should have learned this stuff. I went there to learn how to be financially free, of course. I love my schools to death. Did not teach me what I wanted to learn in order to be financially free. And this is something I want to teach you guys that could literally change the generational thinking in your family. Okay? So we're going to talk about first gross earnings. And I'm going to need some participation here because I'm going to be right. So when we look at what we call GE, all right, and then we're going to have the tax rate, which is CEO is the taxes owed. We're not going to, Mike, you can't help out. I'll bring that up in a second. Come back. So what I want you to do, we're going to take an example of somebody that's making $47,000. Okay, so put $47,000 right here in your gross earnings. Okay, you're going to see another sheet that says tax brackets. Okay, So if you look at your other sheet that says tax bracket, I want you to tell me how much is a person getting taxed at 40 if they have 40 they make 47,000. Which tax brackets are they in? It should be on the sheet.
They would be in the 25% tax.
All right, does everybody see that? Okay, so they're paying 25%, right?
Yes.
So 0.25. Okay. So 25% of 47,000 is what? I think it's like 97.50, something like that, or is it 11? What's somebody do that math for me? 47,000 times 25%.
What was that number again?
It was 47,000 times 25%.
11,750.
That's okay. So we got 11,750. All right. So what does this mean, guys? That means if somebody makes 47,000, they're going to owe 11,750 if they don't take any deductions. Okay. This is hey, I just never fill out my W-4. And what you do is you tell your employer how much to withhold. This is what the W-4 form is about. So if they don't take any deductions whatsoever, then they'll be charged. They'll be paying about 11,750. Now, if we look at this tax bracket form, look down at the bottom, we'll see that for single, we're gonna stick with a single filer. Okay, we got a single filer that's 6,200. All right, that they can get from the government, right? So they would get that at least. And then they would get, in addition, you got to see, add the personal exemption amount of $3,950. You all see that? Mm-hmm. All right, so let's add those together. Let's add $6,200 and $3,950. So that'll be
10,000.
Okay, so I'm just gonna put the total. So we have
6,200.
6,200 and $3,950.
6,230 plus 3,950 is 10,150.
10,150. Okay. So let's do this. So what will happen is with those exemptions, so when people say write-offs, a lot of times people don't know what that means. What that means is I take my gross, and instead of getting taxed on my gross, I get taxed on my write-offs. I mean, I get taxed on what's left after my write-offs. So we're going to say our deductions in this case would be 10,050. That's going to leave us with, take, what's that?
We're subtracting that.
Yeah, we're going to take that from 47.
36,850.
36,850. Okay? So, 36,850. Now we take that income, where is that on the tax bracket list? We make 36,850. What do we get taxed?
15%.
15. Okay. So that takes us down to 15 just from those deductions, right? So now let me take we have all right, so I want to take that 15%, and what would that equal? So if we did that. If we took 36,850 times 15%.
5,527.
Okay, so this, for example, if we had those two deductions, then that would be what we would have in, I guess, what we would have coming back. So we get taxed on that instead of the 11,700. This is just from learning some information. Now, how do you increase your deductions? Legally and morally and ethically, so where you can get that number down lower. Well, let's think about this. As a business owner, as a home-based business owner specifically, because they have over 422 deductions, you're able to write down off your lifestyle. Now, when I bring this to people's attention, they think write off anywhere. Most people write off $10,000 to $20,000 a year of their own lifestyle. When I say that, people are like, "Wow, that's a lot of money to write off." Well, I'm going to show you. I'm going to break down some write-offs so you guys can see how we can easily get to 10. So, Eric, I'm going to actually assist us in this one. So, help me with some things as a business owner. what are some things that a person could write off? How could we get up to $10,000, $20,000 in write? What's some things we could write off?
Well, one of the big areas that you can write off is mileage.
Mileage, okay?
56.5 cents a mile. So if you run a home business and anything you do outside of your home, but you tie it back into your business, prospecting, meetings, luncheons, travel, vacations. You're driving on vacation. If you go there for the purpose of growing your business and promoting your business, then you're legally eligible for those mileage. So the average person puts 15,000 miles a year on their vehicle. If they reduce that down 2/3 business, 1/3 personal, 10,000 miles gives you at least 5650. And
So let's back that up. Let's do a little math real quick. First of all, you guys don't even count. You're in Houston. You drive more miles than that just to go to the gas station. So you will have way higher mileage just living in a big city like this. But let's keep it with the average. So he said about 15,000 miles that you drive total. Okay, so we drive about 15 total. Let's just be conservative and let's just say 10,000. Let's say we have 10,000 miles. You multiply that by what? What's the tax rate? 56 cents, right?
56.5 cents. So
We're just gonna be conservative and say 56 cents. So let's do that. What is 10,000 times 0.5 cents?
5,600.
5,600. So that's 5,600 write-offs, just off of mileage. Now, let's go ahead and get sexy with it. Let's talk about stuff we like to do, we like to write off. I love to write off meals. I'm just gonna write them all out. I go out, pay for reps, we pay for stuff for this event tonight. All this stuff is write-offs, all of them are write-offs. So let's just say, what would be a conservative number to say that we all spend going out? Let's just think about a month, maybe what? $100, $50. Let's say if you would go to lunch, 200. So 100 would be conservative.
I mean, if you really wanted to break it down by the day, if you work 5 days a week, you're on a job, it's easy to go spend
$10 a day, isn't it?
$5 to $10 a day,
Right.
on food. So
So let's say that's 50 weeks out the year, maybe 49, 200 a month. I'm gonna keep it real. I'm gonna just say 100. Okay, so I'm gonna say 100 a month. So I'm gonna say 1,200. Okay, so that's another 1,200. All right, flights, travel. Let's just say travel. Okay, flights. Now remember when you go home, Christmas, all that stuff, you talking to family, that's all write-offs. So let's just, an average flight is $300. So let's just say you take a couple flights. I'm going to be very conservative here. I'm going to just say $1,000 for travel, which we all know is very low. But we're going to just say 1,000. Okay?
What about car rental? Because once you travel, you need a car.
Well, you can bring that up. We'll take travel up. We'll bring it up to 2. It's more like 2, especially go to a couple weddings, a couple things like that. All right. So what's some other ones?
one of the big ones is
Net. You got office in your home office. This is a tough one though. You guys got to be very careful with this. You got to make sure that you talk to a CPA on what you can do to write off a home office. Actually, I'm not going to put that one because that's the biggest one for an audit. And the reason being is because people try to write off their whole entire home where, you know what, if you do just, let's say, a fourth of the mortgage.
Yeah, I mean, you got to look at like this space that we're utilizing here. This is a what, 2-bedroom apartment?
Yep.
All right, 2-bedroom apartment. This layout is probably 900 square feet, but we're using this living room area. We're using the kitchen, dining room, bathroom. We're using 50% of this spot. So let's just say 25%.
Okay, so let's say the average mortgage or rent $1,000.
$1,000 a month. That's $12,000 a year. 25% of that's going to be $3,000.
$3,000. Okay, we keep it conservative. Let's say internet, right? Internet is $30 to $50 a month. Let's just say 30. So you got $30, 300, 360, right? So we got 360. Now cell phones. My cell phone is about $100 a month. Some people have hires, people have kids, and all that really good jazz. And I'm gonna go with, and you don't even want me to go to kids. I'm gonna show you something really cool. But let's say cell phone. Let's just say 1,200. All right, now let me tell you, there are 422 of these. These are just some of the big ones. Now, some of my partners, my business partners, they write off anywhere between 20 to 25,000 easily, not even exaggerating. Let me tell you one of the biggest. One of the biggest ones, and Eric loves this one as well as I. What's one of the ones that a lot of newlyweds or people do, kids, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, under 18, what's something they can do and how much can they write off per child?
Well, I believe, if I'm correct, it's IRS publication 15, but it discusses employing family members. And you can employ children in the home business up to age, 18. Hey, you can go beyond. It depends on the support level through college and other stuff. But when you got kids that are 6, 7 years old to age 18, you can write off, based on this personal exemption of $6,200 per person in the U.S. That means a parent can write off up to $6,200 per child.
Tax-free.
So
Tax-free under 18 years old. So let's just say 6,000. But what can a child do now? They have to do something that could be considered a job. I got one guy, his son is the paper shredder master. Right? He just shreds everything. He just shreds everything. Another one, a teenager, does is social media posting. Another one, he hosts and he cleans up after the parties or before the parties. Another one is a model. They're too young. They're like a baby, literally a baby. They just put like with minis, or I don't know what they're called. Those things where you put like babies and you put like captions. They use their child as a model, just like the Gerber baby. So you can have one child. I'm just gonna make this a bonus one because everybody doesn't have children. But let's just say another 6,000. My mentor, the person who created the company MyEcon, he wrote over $750,000 on all these people. And his one daughter's in college now, and he pays her $10.99 as a business owner. And then she pays for her tuition. So therefore it's a write-off. So it's a way around it. The wealthy, it's not that they just make more money, it's just they know how to use their money and how to income shift. And that's what I'm teaching tonight. So let's just start with the person who doesn't have any children. And imagine if you do this, and you do this before you had a child. That's 6,000 times 18. I don't know how much, but it's a lot. So let's take the number. Let's take 5,600. These are very conservative numbers, people. These will be, the average is 10 to 15,000. But let's just take these right here. What do we get with this?
$13,360.
This is conservatively 13,000. This is not with the 6, right? So you can easily take that up to just, let's say, 19,000. Okay? Now, what does that mean? What does that mean? Let's take this away. Let's see what that means, because I remember when I first heard of write-offs, I didn't really understand it. I act like I did because I had a master's and I was supposed to know. I didn't know what they did. Like, what off of what? Like, what are you saying? But let's look at the numbers and what that means, right? And I'm going to tell you, the stuff I'm showing you tonight, those that do this will be in a very different financial position than those that don't. And I'm going to tell you this is what the stats say. I want people to guess, out of 100 people, how many people do you think are going to be financially secure with their retirement out of 100 people? One? Okay. I'm going to break down how she got there. Anybody else got a guess?
maybe 3
Maybe 3
to 5.
3 to 5? Okay. So here's the thing. By the time retirement age comes, out of 100 people, 36 are going to be, unfortunately, passed away. After that, another, 54 is going to be, that's going to be, let's say, 56, 40, about 90, yeah, about another 54. They're going to be actually living off of some type of dependency. Social Security, Medicare, something like that. That's what they're going to be dependent on family and friends, etc. Another 5 are going to actually still be working. They're going to be working at Walmart. They're going to be working wherever. When you see people that, and I feel bad when I see that. People, they've worked all their life and now they're still working. Then another 5, one is going to be wealthy, and the other 4 are going to be financially at the point where they don't have to work and they're living off of their own investments. What's the difference? Now, all of these people could have started off with the same exact salary. Okay? It's not how much you make, it's how much you keep, what you learn, and how you deal with it. So let's take this number right here. Let's take this 36. Let's apply this 1360. 13,360. What do we come up with? We take that number there.
We have 23,490.
23,490. Okay, we're going to use that one. We'll come back to that one. Now, what if we had use a child in that? What about that? We're taking 16 off. 6,000 off. 17,490. Okay, so we're just going to do this. Multiply that times 15. Goes by 15. And what do we get? Is this still in the 15% tax bracket, right?
For the first one, we have $3,523.50.
Okay.
We have $2,623.
Can somebody show me the difference between 11,000 and let's just say 3,523? What's the difference between that?
Minus how much? 25?
11,750, 8,000,
227.
227. Okay, this is what I want you guys to all have on your paper. Not all the numbers, but just those 11,750, or you can even go with the 5,000. Either one, it doesn't matter. You will see that these are thousands of dollars of difference between somebody that doesn't know and somebody that does. Does that make sense to everybody? And this is all the same salary. Everybody's making the same money here. Now I'm gonna make it a lot easier to comprehend. I'm gonna talk about investment. So, any questions on this part right here before we move on? Okay, we're good. So, this is just the power of write-ups. Okay, this is why people have. When people say, "Well, I don't want to sell anything. I don't want to sell." You don't have to sell it. You can be a home-based business person that educates people. You can be somebody that tutors. You can sell cookies. Anything. You just have to be. In capitalism, socialism, the mindset of socialism doesn't work if you want to be financially free. It works if you want to have an argument, if you want to get into politics, if you want to argue, but it doesn't work if you're trying to be financially free. Unfortunately, I don't mean that to sound any type of way. It's just the way America has been set up, and it will stay set up that way. For a number of reasons, but I won't get into all of that. But it's one of the art of war is never get into a battle that you cannot win. But we can win the game of financial education, financial freedom. All right, so now everybody see this the rule of 72. This is going to blow you guys away. Rule of 72. All right. Actually, Kat, can you give me some soap on it? I think this I want to get that one wet. All right. So everybody sees the rule of 72. All right. So now let's talk about. We got investment amount, right? We got interest, we got age, and we got the total. Pardon my writing, but all right. So I want you to, in the investment area, we're going to talk about. Let's just say we'll start with a 35-year-old person, right? We got a person that's 35. Well, let's talk about what rule of 72 is. Anybody know what rule of 72 is? Outside of Eric or Kat? And Tim? Okay. The rule of 72 is what Einstein stated. Einstein, the eighth wonder of the world is compound interest. Okay? So what this is, rule of 72 is basically if you divide an interest rate, you divide 72 by an interest rate, it'll tell you how many years it takes for your money to double. Okay, so that's the rule of 72. So what we want to do is we want to see what are we doing now and what will that do for our future. All right? So let's take 10 investments. Everybody put this down. Okay? And let's just say you got lucky and your bank is giving Everybody with me? All right. Now, so let's think about at age 35, starting out with 10,000, got 10,000 401k. You know? Let's just say we want to divide this 4% by 18. Okay? That equals
72 divided by 4.
Yeah, there it is. See? I need an answer. I'm thinking backwards. It's 18 actually. So 72, if you divide 72 by 4%, it's going to be 18. Okay? So that means every 18 years, this 10,000 is going to turn 20. Sound good, right? Okay, so 18 years, you double your money. Well, let's look at it. So at age 53, this 10,000 is going to go to 20,000. Okay? By the age of 71, it's going to be at 40K. Okay? It's 40,000. So some people's 401ks and things are set up like that. It's funny because a lot of people will tell me, hey, well, I'm getting 4% of my 401k and I'm doing good. And, that's good. But let's look at some other options and see if there's something better that you possibly doing. So let's say we take the same 35-year-old and same 10,000. What I want to know is, what do you guys think? If it took him 4% to get 40,000, how much interest do you think he has to get to double that money? If he's getting 40,000, I want to get 80,000. He's getting 40,000 now at 4%. What do you think he has to get 80? What number does this need to be for him to get 80,000 for the same time period? If you want to double his money, if you want to double this outcome, what do we need to do to this one? Double it. So you say 80, right? Yeah. So that's the power of compound interest. Simple interest, we would probably be looking at 8. Compound interest means money on top of money, and it's developing in like a snowball effect. So let's see what happens when we do 6%. Okay? So if we do 6%, we divide that by 72. This 35-year-old at the age of 40, well, it's going to take 12 years. Okay, so it's going to knock off 6 years. So it's going to take 12 per year. You say 12 per year, 18 per year. So every 12 years, this money's going to double. So 35, 47, we're going to be looking at 20,000. 47 to 59, we're looking at 40. And then we're looking here at 71, 80. See, this is the power, guys. Just 2% is going to double his money by the time he retires. Same job, same amount of money, same 10,000. It's just as investments are different. Okay. Now, here's what we call a banker's secret. I want you to put this on the paper. Banker's secret. Okay, and also put that 6%. I want you to put that too. Take this away. All right. So, if the bank is giving this young man or whoever's managing for a guarantee for $1,000 that the bank gets, they can then number out. I think it's 9 to 10 times
For every dollar.
on that $1,000 because they're putting fees on credit cards. They're doing a lot of things. Now, I'm going to do 12%. Same 10,000. Compound interest rate. So look at this. Look at what this is about. So from 35 to 41, 7, 40, 53, 8, 59,